All right, let's talk about a supplement pretty much everyone has heard of, creatine. But here's the thing. What if I told you its biggest, most powerful benefit has almost nothing to do with the gym?
Yeah, I'm serious. Just think about that for a second. What if the secret weapon against brain fog, for a sharper memory, for just feeling more mentally on, was the same stuff you see bodybuilders taking? It sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, let's get into it.
Because honestly, that's exactly where the latest science is headed. So we're going to leave the gym behind for a minute and take a look inside our own heads to figure out what this molecule is really doing.
Okay, but I get it. I know what you're probably thinking. Creatine comes with a lot of baggage, right? There's all this confusion, all these myths floating around. People worry about their kidneys. They hear stuff about dehydration and bloating. They don't know how much to take. And the whole idea of it being for your brain, that was never really part of the conversation. Until now. So let's clear all that up.
So to really understand this, we gotta zoom way in. I'm talking down to the cellular level. And for a second, just forget that it's a supplement you can buy. Think of it as pure biology. Because creatine is already a fundamental piece of your body's energy system.
And that whole system, it runs on one thing, a molecule called ATP. The easiest way to think about ATP is like, it's the energy currency for your body. It's the gasoline for your cells. Literally every single thing you do, from picking up your phone to thinking about what to have for dinner, it all runs on ATP.
So where does creatine come into play? Well, when your cells use that ATP for energy, it turns into a low-power version called ADP. You can think of it like a drained battery. And this is creatine's superpower. Its job is to swoop in, slap a phosphate group back onto that ADP, and bam! It's instantly recharged back into a full-power ATP battery ready to go.
So here's the key takeaway, the most important part. Creatine is like a super fast recharging station for your cells. It creates this buffer of energy that's always on standby. And which parts of your body need the most energy? The fastest? Well, yeah, your muscles, but what else? Your brain. Your brain is an incredibly energy-hungry organ. And this is where things get really, really interesting. Because once you get that creatine is all about energy recycling, you start to see its benefits show up in places you would never expect. And it's all being backed up by some amazing new research.
Let's talk about the brain first. By giving your brain cells more of that on-demand energy, study after study is showing that it can help improve things like memory and executive function. It helps you cut through that awful brain fog and can even make you process things faster. Basically, it's making your brain tougher, more resilient against mental burnout.
And this isn't just theoretical stuff. It has a huge real-world impact. For example, a pretty recent study in the journal Nature, a big deal, looked at people who were sleep-deprived. You know how that feels? The group taking creatine, they actually maintain their cognitive performance. The other group, not so much. That's a direct line from cellular energy right to your mental stamina.
So what does that mean in a clinical setting? Check out this number, 5 to 10%. That might not sound huge, but a 2025 pilot study from KU Medical Center found that Alzheimer's patients saw a 5 to 10% improvement in their cognitive scores. And how? Just by giving their brain more of the basic energy it needs to function. But it's not just about brain power. That exact same energy principle is why you see that famous 5 to 10% boost in muscle strength. It's why it helps older folks hang on to precious muscle and bone mass as they age. And even newer research is showing it helps support your immune system, your vascular system, your metabolism. It really is a whole body thing.
All right, so the benefits are pretty clear, right? But the next logical question is, how do you actually use it safely? How do you do it right? So let's get practical and finally put some of those old myths to bed.
Look, for probably 99% of us, it's super simple. 3 to 5 grams a day. That's it. That's the sweet spot for all the long-term good stuff. The cognitive support, the physical benefits, the healthy aging. Those bigger doses you see, that's really for a short-term crunch, like if you're seriously sleep-deprived. And the whole loading thing, that's mostly just for athletes who want to see results a little faster. It's totally optional.
And please don't fall for the fancy marketing. You don't need some expensive space-age version. The gold standard, the one with the most research by far, is just plain old creatine monohydrate. It's effective, it's cheap, and decades of science have shown it's incredibly safe to use. Okay, let's hit the two biggest myths head on. First, the kidney thing. Let's be crystal clear. Tons of research shows creatine does not harm healthy kidneys, period. What it can do is raise a lab marker called creatinine, which can look like a false positive on a blood test. The fix is so easy. Just tell your doctor you're taking it. That's it.
And myth number 2, dehydration. This one's actually the complete opposite of the truth. Creatine works by pulling water into your muscle cells, which actually improves hydration and can even help reduce cramping.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you realize we've been looking at creatine all wrong. It's not just a supplement for bodybuilders. It's something way more fundamental. I saw a research summary that put it perfectly. It said creatine is emerging as a key tool for both peak performance and healthy aging. Think about that. One simple ingredient that helps you perform your best today and helps protect your health for the long run.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that the entire conversation about creatine is changing. It's not about getting bigger muscles anymore. It's about building a more resilient body and, maybe more importantly, a more resilient brain. It's about giving yourself the basic energy you need to stay focused and healthy for your whole life.
And that kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? I mean, we live in a world that is constantly demanding more and more from our brains. So, could it be that one of the simplest, safest, and cheapest molecules out there is actually a key to lifelong focus? A key to not just getting by, but actually thriving? The science seems to be saying, maybe it is.